How good of a prophet was Muhammad? Is he truly a good prophet as many claims? Was he really a good prophet whom the Muslims said never killed anyone during his lifetime? Are you really sure about that? Well, let's examine this and see if this is indeed correct. At the time Muhammad was still living in the city of Medina, he grew in power, but there was a problem. The Jews living in Medina didn't accept him as a prophet of God. Due to this, he grew so much hatred towards the Jews. As a result of this hatred, he then asked his followers to eliminate and murder the Jews who will not accept him to be a prophet of God. One of these Jews was KAAB bin al-Ashraf. In Yathrib, Muhammad then began to encounter different opposition from the Jewish tribe, which were already living nearby. Whenever he tried to spread his message of Islam to the Jews, they rejected his message and Islam. Even though they rejected his message, the Jews had several treaties with Muhammad, but that did not mean they were on good terms. One of the Jews, KAAB bin al-Ashraf, vocally supported the Meccans, who are the Quraysh, against Muhammad. He told them he believed Muhammad was a fraud, not a prophet at all. KAAB was a Jew. He hated Muhammad, but although he hated Muhammad, this KAAB guy never lifted a weapon against Muhammad or any Muslim. He only voiced his opinion against Muhammad. Because of this, Muhammad saw him as a threat, and therefore he was so determined to murder this guy. He had planned to murder him in the night. During this time, the Jews around Medina were not under Muhammad's rule. They only made a treaty with the Muslims. Muhammad did not have any legal rights to murder KAAB. Rather, he took it upon himself to get rid of the man who hated him. Listen, if a mafia chieftain committed this crime, it will be understandable because we know those are actually bad guys and they only do evil. But in this case, we are talking about someone who claims to be a prophet of God. Someone who is supposed to be holy and flee from taking the life of a human being. If you remember in the book of 2 Samuel chapter 11, David, the king of Israel, also had a man killed named Uriah. However, David never said it was the will of God, and when he was confronted with his sin, David repented, but Muhammad never repented for his crimes. Let's read this Muhammad and KAAB bin al-Ashraf accounts from the hadith. Sahih Bukhari volume 5 number 369. This hadith is a bit long, but I hope we get to understand the account. Allah Messenger said, "Who is willing to kill KAAB bin al-Ashraf, who has hurt Allah and his apostle?" Thereupon, Maslama got up saying, "O Allah Messenger, would you like that I kill him?" The Prophet answered, "Yes." Maslama said, "Then allow me to say a false thing, that is to deceive KAAB." The Prophet answered, "You may say it." Maslama went to KAAB and said, "That man, that is Muhammad, demands Sadaqah, that is Zakat or taxes from us, and he has troubled us, and I have come to borrow something from you." On that, KAAB said, "By Allah, you will get tired of him." Maslama said, "Now, as we have followed him, we do not want to leave him unless and until we see how his end is going to be. Now, we want you to lend us a camel load or two of food." KAAB said, "Yes, but you shall mortgage something to me." Maslama and his companions said, "What do you want?" KAAB replied, "Mortgage your women to me." They said, "How can we mortgage our women to you, and you are the most handsome of the Arabs?" KAAB said, "Then mortgage your sons to me." They said, "How can we mortgage our sons to you? Later, they will be abused by the people, saying that so and so has been mortgaged for a camel load of food. That would cause us great disgrace, but we will mortgage our arms to you." Maslama and his companions promised KAAB that Maslama will return to him. He came to KAAB at night along with KAAB's foster brother, Abu Nahila. KAAB invited them to come into his fort, and then he went down to them. His wife asked him, "Where are you going at this time?" KAAB replied, "None but Maslama and my foster brother Abu Nahila have come." His wife said, "I hear a voice as if blood is dripping from him." KAAB replied, "They are none but my brother Maslama and my foster brother Abu Naila. A generous man should respond to a call at night, even if invited to be killed. Maslama went with 2 men. So, Maslama went in together with 2 men and said to them, "When KAAB comes, I will touch his hair and smell it. And when you see that I have got hold of his head, strike him. I will let you smell his head." KAAB bin al-Ashraf came down to them, wrapping his clothes and diffusing perfume. Maslama said, "I have never smelled a better scent than this." KAAB replied, "I have got the best Arab women who know how to use high-class perfume." Maslama requested KAAB, "Will you allow me to smell your head?" KAAB said, "Yes." Maslama smelled it and made his companion smell it as well. Then he requested KAAB again, "Will you let me smell your head?" KAAB said, "Yes." When Maslama got a strong hold of him, he said to his companions, "Get at him." So they killed him and went to the Prophet and informed him. What did you notice from this account? Muhammad wanted to kill this man because Muhammad claimed he had hurt Allah and his apostle. Now the question is, how does a man hurt Allah and his apostle? Secondly, we notice that Muhammad got someone else to do this dirty work. Finally, we notice that Muhammad allowed Maslama to lie in order to draw KAAB out of his home so that he can be killed. The background to this murder is that after the Battle of Baghdad, KAAB bin al-Ashraf was horrified by Muhammad's victory and the death of certain Arab leaders. This was KAAB's quote expressing his surprise at the Muslim victory. Is this true? Did Muhammad actually kill these whom these 2 men mentioned? These are the nobles of the Arabs and kingly men. By God, if Muhammad had slain these people, it was better to be dead than alive. So, when it became certain that the news was true, he left the town and went to Mecca to stay with al-Muttalib, who was married to Atika. She took him in and entertained him. He began to write against the apostle and to recite verses in which he expresses great sadness for the Quraysh who were thrown into the pit after being slain at Baghdad in the Battle of Baghdad. So, when we take a look at Muhammad's actions and behavior, he basically was a psychopath who murdered anyone who tries to oppose him. He sent his followers to trick and murder a man who opposed him. This Muhammad was a psychopath who was unable to deal with challenges. He was unable to prove himself to be a prophet from God and react violently when he was challenged. This is a man who was once weak when in Mecca because he couldn't use his little followers then in order to get what he desired. But when he moved to Medina after gaining power, he became a monster and murdered anyone who challenged him. This is not how a prophet from God behaves. This is not how God operates with his prophets. God in his infinite wisdom and knowledge will not choose a psychopath as his final prophet to send his final revelation to the world. This is not the work and action of a true prophet from God. This is the work and action of a psychopath who uses his influence and power to deceive his gullible and superstitious followers. The earlier our Muslim brothers and sisters realize this, the better. Well, I know it will be almost impossible. If you really want to serve God and you really desire to know the truth, you will research this out for yourself with an open heart. If you desire to know the truth, you will find it. Stay safe and stay blessed.